Our last experience with Royal Air Maroc was not so good. Upon arrival in Marrakech, we found out that our bags were left in Casablanca. We spent hours at the airport with hundreds of disgruntled passengers facing the same exact issue, only to file a claim for our missing baggage. 3 days later, and hours spent at the airport, we finally got our bags, but with one little surprise. All of our stuff was wet. I guess they just left them out in the rain.
We set off for Cairo, Egypt with Royal Air Maroc. We arrived 3 whole hours early for our 8 p.m. flight, but we should have known that things weren't going to go according to plan with this horrible airline.
Now we're finally at the airport. We're about to go inside and head over to Egypt.
I just really hope everything goes okay with Royal Air Maroc this time. We're not gonna check our bags.
All right, Cairo, here we come.
Okay guys, so Royal Air Maroc screwed us again. They changed our flight without letting us know, no emails, no nothing. So we came at 5 o'clock for a flight at 8:50. It was 11 a.m. and now we can't get to the connecting flight in Casablanca.
Despite checking our emails and the flight number before getting to the airport, we were stuck in Marrakech with no help from the airport staff. There was no space on any other flight going to Cairo for the next 2 days out of Morocco. The airline staff chose to ignore the problem rather than work with us to find a solution. So we were stuck with 2 options. Either get a hotel somewhere in Morocco, either Casablanca or Marrakech, and wait and pray for Royal Air Maroc staff to find us a solution, or 2, take matters into our own hands.
So Hammer's trying to get a taxi so we could drive 3 hours up to Casablanca and then fly over. Royal Air Maroc changed our flight from 8 p.m. to 11 a.m. We were running around the airport trying to figure out what to do because they didn't have any space on any of their flights, they said, but also their ticket office was closed and they just told us that we had to call a number. We just decided to catch a cab. I think it's going to be around $100 to catch a cab to Casablanca and try to catch our flight to Cairo from Casablanca, but I don't know if that's actually going to work. If anything, then we get to Casablanca and we'll figure it out from there. We set off towards Casablanca by taxi in order to try and grab the next leg of our journey, which was from Casablanca over to Cairo. En route to Casablanca, we decided to call Royal Air Maroc to confirm if our seats were still available on our connecting flight.
But I never received an email, I never received any information regarding this change.
ايه اللي حصل؟ الموبايل ما اعرفش ايه اللي حصل مع موبايلك. خدت ايه؟
الرصيد.
Receipt? Okay. He ran out of credit, so we can't talk to them anymore. Hopefully our booking's still there. We'll find out when we get there though.
It's about a 3-hour ride from Marrakech up to Casablanca, so we just started and we'll let you know how it goes. This day is crazy. Never fly Royal Air Maroc.
I bit the bullet and called Royal Air Maroc from my phone, ultimately costing us $15 in roaming charges. She's saying there's only 1 seat on the flight now to Egypt, and tomorrow's fully booked. So we're screwed. Yeah, so like one of us will be stuck in Casablanca and one of us will go to Egypt. I'm not gonna do that. Is there a flight tomorrow? Like, am I gonna get reimbursed for my hotel tonight? Like what's gonna happen? I understand there's 1 seat remaining, but what about for tomorrow? Tomorrow the flight's fully booked, so how are we gonna get to Egypt? How am I supposed to get back home? Like, what do I do? I'm stuck here right now and I don't have anywhere to stay. I don't have any hotel. I don't know anyone here, and you guys gave up our seats on the flight. Is there any other option for us to get to Egypt? Because we need to be in Egypt by tomorrow. I know you keep saying there's no other seats, but is there like a standby? Is there anything? Can you speak to a manager? Like, can we do something? Just put me on hold, so we'll see. So we'll go to Lagos first, from Casablanca to Lagos. So we land in Lagos at what time? 4:15 a.m. and then we leave Lagos at what time? At 2:20 p.m. I don't even know where Lagos is, but okay, we'll do that. Okay. If I get there at 9:30, am I okay? Will I make the flight? For my taxi, I had to pay for that on my own. Do I just have to book a claim? Okay, and they will pay me, are you sure? Okay, thank you.
They never paid us back the $100 for that taxi ride.
So I will definitely get an email from you, yes? Okay, thank you. All right, so the deal is right now we're going from Casablanca to Lagos. We're gonna land at Lagos at 4:50 a.m. and then we're leaving from Lagos at 2 p.m. I don't even know where Lagos is, but we're just gonna go there and figure it out. I guess we'll explore in the morning. Where's Lagos, Ruthie?
I don't know. I don't know where Lagos is, but I feel like it's like a fancy place. Yeah, I don't know. Never fly Royal Air Maroc, but thank you, Hammer, a million times for figuring this out. Now we're on a taxi to Casablanca, so cool.
I really hope that everything works out and we can get there. So it turns out Lagos is in Nigeria. So I guess we're gonna have like a 12-hour layover in Nigeria.
You're so uncultured.
I just thought like Lagos sounded like Mykonos, like a Greek island.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that sounds fancy.
I thought Lagos was an island like in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah. I was like, Ruthie, we can't afford that. It turns out we're going to Nigeria.
Nigeria is nice, I heard, but it's not the same as a Greek island.
Yeah, we're still on the ride. We got to see the sunset. Sunset.
We arrived at Casablanca pretty much exactly at 9 o'clock. Hammer's running inside to try and exchange some money and get all the money for the taxi cab, and then we can go in and check in for our flight to Lagos. That'll be fun.
We were able to pay the cab driver, and it's 9:09, and we're currently walking in, so we are hopefully going to make our flight.
We're taking Royal Air Maroc on the way to Lagos, and then we get to transfer into Egypt Air for the way to Egypt, which is going to be so much better.
Yeah, I love Egypt Air. I've honestly flown them so many times going back to Egypt in the summers growing up, and they are amazing.
Guys, we checked into our flight. We made it past the security. We are going to Lagos, and then we're going to go to Cairo. Our overnight flight turned into a full 24 hours of travel.
Today has honestly been so stressful. I'm really surprised that we were able to figure it out, but we did.
I can't believe that we actually made it through the day and we got from Marrakech to Casablanca, and not only that, but we got another flight to be able to get us to Cairo. That was all Hammer. I literally just sat there and smiled the whole time, like I was happy, but I wasn't.
We made it happen together. If it wasn't for her, I couldn't have done it. Now we're gonna enjoy some food. We'll see you guys in Lagos. We caught our flight and landed safely in Lagos. The connection process was weird. We just landed in Nigeria, and right now we're heading over to the lounge for a super long layover.
It's definitely way different here than anything that we've experienced before. In most airports, when you have a layover, you can just get off your flight, go to a lounge, wait there, and then get onto your next flight. But it doesn't work that way here. Here, instead of going through customs, there was a special officer that took our passports and is holding them for us while we go to the lounges. And then we retrieve those passports for check-in to go to our next flight. That was my best attempt at politely saying that corruption runs rampant at the Nigerian airport. Because we couldn't go through this airport in transit like usual, we were stuck with a customs agent who took our passports and said he wouldn't give them back until we started to head towards our connecting flight. He walked us out of departures, back through 2 security checkpoints to get back into the airport, then to his office where he straight up asked us for money. Over the next 9 hours, we experienced that behavior from pretty much every single airport staff person that we talked to.
This is a really weird day.
We still don't have passports. And we kind of asked about the whole taking our passports thing. And apparently anyone that's in transit, they say they take the passport because they're responsible for us as travelers. So once it's time to check in for our gate, then they will walk us to the gate, check us in and everything and all this. Really, the reason that they do this is because they ask for money.
They keep saying like, oh, do you have anything for me? I'm like, I don't have anything. 4 hours to go.
The man came in to help us get our boarding passes, even though we already had some, so we had to go down and get new boarding passes. There was an issue because, you know, when you go to certain areas of the world, they require the yellow immunization card to prove that you got certain immunizations. All the countries that we have planned, we didn't need that card for. But leaving from Nigeria to go to Cairo, they said that we needed it, and so we argued with them, and we didn't have it, and they said that that's fine in the end, that we can go to Cairo. But I'm just starting to get really worried that when we land in Cairo, they're going to give us a problem because we're landing from Nigeria, even though we didn't actually go like out.
Now I'm also keeping my boarding pass from Morocco, so we'll have our boarding passes from Morocco to here to show that like we landed here from Morocco. And then we left here, so we had like a 12 hour, I don't even know how many hours, honestly, at this point. It's been here, I feel like we've been here forever.
It sucks.
Yeah, everywhere I go, I feel like every single person's asking me for money. The lady who was talking about the yellow immunization card asked us, you could turn it off. At this point, we still felt uncomfortable talking about the corruption that we were experiencing.
Just in case I didn't explain that well enough, here's a quick version of what happened.
1. Airport staff in Nigeria said that we had to get new boarding passes, although we already had boarding passes which were printed out in Casablanca.
2. Airport staff walked us to the check-in counter to pick up our boarding passes.
3. The airport staff said that we couldn't leave Nigeria because we didn't have the yellow immunization cards.
4. Over the next 30 minutes, we argued with airport staff saying that we were only in Nigeria during transit, we didn't have a stamp saying that we entered Nigeria, and there's no way that we were going to get stuck in Nigeria and miss our connecting flight.
5. After 30 minutes of arguing with them, they finally gave us our boarding passes.
6. The woman that we argued with, who eventually gave us our boarding passes, asked us to give her money for helping us out.
7. When we got back to the lounge staff asked us for money, although our priority pass covers our entrance to the lounge. The lady who was talking about the yellow immunization card, she asked us for money after she eventually sorted out the situation. And then I explained I don't have any money, and she was like, well, you gotta get it from the ATM. I was like, no, and we just left. And then we got patted down by security after getting to the security gate, and he asked me for money, and I was like, no, I don't have my wallet. And he's like, you have your wallet right there, you can give me the money. I was like, no, and then I left. Then the guy who's been walking us through this whole entire place was like, do you have something for me? I was like, no. So he's coming back here later, I don't know what to do then, but it's just been like a lot of pushing everybody away, telling them I don't have money. I mean, I'm sure like the people here are really nice. Some of the people that we've met have been really, really nice. It's just getting to be kind of old with everybody asking us for money. So everything's going wrong at once, but I think it will all get better the minute we step through the gates in Egypt.
Once we finally get into Egypt, I am going to be so relieved. I just can't wait for all of this to be over. It was finally time to go to our gate.
They did one last security checkpoint where they checked all of our bags, opened up everything, and confiscated a couple things.
Including my nail file.
After that, we waited an hour and a half in a hot, cramped, sweaty room without any air conditioning before we boarded our plane. We're finally entering the plane. Finally. I can't wait to get out of this country and go to Egypt. I hope they don't give us trouble and they just let us in. Egypt Air, thank God we're flying you and we're not flying Royal Air Maroc. Let's get it.
The flight was supposed to take off 10 minutes ago. We're finally boarding now. It'll probably be another half hour before we take off. We've been flying about 5 hours. We have 1 hour left to finally get to Egypt. I'm so excited. We have this whole road to ourselves. We both got to sleep for almost the whole time so far. Egypt Air isn't that bad. Screw Royal Air Maroc. Egypt Air was great. They gave us a meal, and it was really, really delicious. Except for, honestly, the cake was a little bit dry. No,
okay, that's the worst part.
I know. That was the worst part about this whole thing.
See y'all in Egypt.
I did a peace sign. I never do a peace sign.
Finally landed in Egypt. First time in 10 years and I'm so pumped. Now we just gotta get through. Let's do it. We met up with my family and right now we're just gonna go back and shower and try to get all the filth off us from the 24 hours of traveling. And then tomorrow is a new day of adventures. Ruthie will hit you guys with the closing.
Oh my God, guys. It has been a crazy 24 hours, but I'm so happy to finally meet Hammer's family. I'm so happy to be here in Cairo and I know Hammer is too. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.